All right, right back to the people. It is group therapy. And again, the ground rules, all I've asked is, please, let's be a little higher level. I don't think it's fair just to blame Dan Campbell. I don't think it's fair just to blame Josh Reynolds. It's all of it. As David has always told me about raising his children, it takes a village. It takes a village to drive that car off the cliff like you did up 17 at the half. Everybody played a hand.
I've never heard it put that way, Mike, but well done.
I am here for you.
Where's the bell? You know what? The bell's still on the other side from yesterday. Okay.
Well,
Point. Valenti. Ding.
Ding. Let's go to Chris, 97.1. Chris, what's going on, buddy?
Good afternoon, Valenti and Rico.
Hey.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
You sound a little bit more upset than I am. They had a great
sick
season,
as a dog. What do you want from me here?
Well, you want to hear the straight truth?
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Hold accountability. Not on Dan Campbell at all. A little bit on Ben Johnson, but guess who gets paid the millions of dollars to perform at the highest level the NFL expects from their players? Is the players. Yep. They're the ones that's supposed to execute. You got true drop passes that should have clearly been caught. So did he have nerves that he couldn't handle the pass? The fumble from Gibbs? There's so many different factors. And the one thing I want to say that no caller has said, how do we know the field goal kicker didn't get injured and they just kept it a secret?
Well, because now that's like conspiracy theory stuff. And I don't want to do that.
It's a possibility, though. Because he made a kick 54 yards against the Rams, and this was a 48, which was guaranteed that he would make.
Chris, I just don't think that they wanted to trust him in that big of a moment, and they felt like, you know what, that's not Justin Tucker. We're just going to go ahead and pick up this first down. That's what I.
Yeah, and if your kicker's hurt, you don't kick your extra points. So let's just not do that. I'll stick to the meat of the call, Chris. You're right. If Josh Reynolds catches one of those passes, if Gibbs doesn't fumble, if Vildor doesn't lose both front teeth by the ball bouncing off of a game-changing interception, maybe to all of them. Now, the Vildor thing, I think they end up keeping the flag. So I think that one is probably the lowest on my line of things. I don't think they picked the flag up.
Right.
There would have been a penalty in some way, shape, or form. I don't like when refs do that and let the result of the play dictate whether they're calling the penalty. Yeah, I have one of those little PTA meetings after the play. But Reynolds and Gibbs, yes. I can't argue that. But I don't think it's fair to take the head coach and go, hey, 4 real high-leverage moments where you rolled the dice and came up empty. I don't think it's unfair to have that conversation. That's not demonizing him, but it is. You got to live in a real world now there, Chris. Come on.
And you know what? Who also is not getting any blame, but it's been a problem, Mike, all season is Ben Johnson in the third quarter. Like, once again, you came out and did nothing. And you know what this game really reminded me of? New Orleans. They jumped ahead of the Saints down in New Orleans. It looked like it was going to be a cakewalk. And then all of a sudden in the second half, they couldn't do anything. The only reason they won that game, they knocked Carr out the game. And they found just enough to squeak past. They didn't knock Purdy out the game, and they ended up losing. But they jumped way ahead, and we all thought, like, my goodness, they may hit 70 points in the game. Well, it all ended in the first half.
The problem with the third quarter, though, I mean, Rico, San Francisco gets the ball coming out of the half. They go 72 yards. Then you have a one-play fumble. Then San Francisco gets the football again, scores.
But no, hold on. But Mike, they went down and they kicked a field goal. They didn't get the touchdown. They kicked the field goal, and then you drove it all the way down, and it looked as if you were about to score again, and you gave it back to them.
That one, you're right. Yes. And again, if you look at the anatomy of that whole deal, it still comes back to Reynolds dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Listen, there's so much wrong with how they lost this game. I don't want to, do this massive power rank. But when a caller calls in and wants to talk Campbell, I'll do it. When I want to call in and talk about the players, we'll do it. It's both. Josh Reynolds catches that football 4th and 2 at the 28. You're scoring.
Yeah.
Period.
Or worst case scenario, you kick a field goal and you match theirs, and it's still a 17-point lead. Because up 17
and you know
means,
where I'm at.
Yeah, you just match point for point, and you can never beat me.
That's right.
I'm
sorry. David, all I was going to say is I can't kill him on it, and I haven't, and I won't. I can disagree with it, and I can say it is no secret, 4th and 2, after San Francisco got 3 to open the half, I'm using the fire extinguisher. I'm going to match their 3 and go, hope you had fun. Now there's 6 minutes left in the third, and you're still at 17. That's me. Maybe I'm a fuddy-duddy. I'm not hip and cool.
No, because in the second half, all you got to do is just play keep away.
Well, and that's what I was saying, because I've been talking to Kenny all day. It's only 2 possessions in the second half. I would have gone for the field goal, and it would be the first one in the second half, and then the last one to tie it. Well, not the last one, but to tie it at 27. I'm probably going for a field goal.
So but both fourth downs.
Well, there was a third one in there where they missed it as well. Another drop by Reynolds. 2 drop by Reynolds.
That was third down.
Oh, you're right.
That was 3rd and 10,
right.
and it forced to 3 and out.
But here's the problem that I have, and this is why I think a lot of people are upset with Dan Campbell, is because they're waiting for the result of the play to then decide if they would rather go for it or not. I'm sitting there watching the game at the moment saying what to do, go for it or not, because it's just what I feel, and I know what Dan Campbell is going to do. Don't get upset with the play because of the result.
And here's the thing, David, when it comes to the 4th down stuff, as you've seen the Lions, because they make a lot, it's contagious. When you make them, you keep making them. But when you miss them, then all of a sudden everybody's trying to do a little bit too much and overthink things and drop passes, or they don't hit the right hole and now they got stuffed. So that's what happens. So once you started missing the 4th downs, that's when it's the power. You know what, guys? Today's not our day. I'm not going to gamble this.
The avalanche starts growing all of a sudden, and boom.
Yeah, it's just like when we do our gambling segment. Maybe it's time to just opt out for today. Doesn't mean you have to quit, but how about just today, we're going to power it down and pass?
I would go to the caller on line 5. They don't have a name.
That's
so we'll
Chad.
go to Brian on line 6.
Oh, that's Chad on 5.
Okay. Perfect. Chad, what's going on, buddy?
Man, Mikey, I feel like you on the rant day. Everyone's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm like, what do you mean, how am I doing? I'm absolutely furious. Going into the game, it was like house money for me. It's the only way. I was never emotional about this team all year until they unraveled. And Mike, I'm going to go back to what I said after the Rose Bowl. Dan Campbell's a good coach. He is a good coach, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to be unfair, but to me, it's way too much rah-rah and not enough analyzing what's happening in front of your face. Another misnomer. Everyone's saying, oh, well, we got there because of the aggressiveness. Guys, that's not true. We converted 52% of our 4th downs this year. You're not converting at a high clip, and you're doing it all over the place. I think the aggressiveness hurts us more than it helps us. It's the reason why we weren't the 1 seed, because Dan was insistent on being Mr. Aggressive instead of analyzing what was happening in front of his face. He did it again last night. Mike, you made a comment during the week, and I agreed with you. No team is more connected. No coach is more connected to his team. He was disconnected in that second half. His team unraveled in front of his face. He should have saw it after the Gibbs fumble. I was like, call a timeout and gather the team around you and tell them to calm down. I remember in a game in an AFC title game where the Patriots were unraveling, Belichick went over to the offense, which he never does, and told them, relax. Just do your job. You're pressing. He did not have the pulse of the team. They unraveled in front of his face, and he did nothing about it. And the field goals, to me, are unacceptable. Listen, if gambling is who you are, that's fine. You can still be Mr. Cha-Cha, Mr. Rah-Rah, Mr. Woo, and gamble all the time and go, for this spot right here in the NFC title game, in enemy territory, in a championship game, on the road, and the crowds come alive, and all the momentum's against us, I know that's who I am, but right here, right now, I'm going to take the 3 points. We're going to stop the bleeding. He countless times, his boner, his aggressiveness is over. His recklessness cost us team games. Cost us the Philly game last year.
But Chad. Hold on, Chad, because there's something you said that you're wrong about. That is how they got there. They are number 2 in the league for 4th down attempts. That is how they got there.
So what 4th down conversion was critical on it? Give me an example of what game a 4th down conversion directly led to them winning the game. I completely disagree with you.
4th and 6 in Los Angeles against the Chargers.
Okay, Chad.
Okay, Chargers, I'll give you the Chargers game, Mike. I'll give you the Chargers game. You're right about that. What other game did it directly lead to a win? I disagree with you, David. They still get to where they get to if he runs the game like a normal damn coach. He's got to figure out how to run a game. He's got to figure out how to analyze what's happening and adjust to it accordingly. He doesn't do that. And I'm furious because it keeps happening, and it happens in the biggest damn spots. And it's unacceptable. He's got to get better. That's all I can say.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, they went for it against the Chiefs, and they won that game.
Yeah. Okay. Let me add this, and Jim Costa, because I'm pretty sure Jim was up till 5 a.m. seething. I think they were something like 17 for 21 on 4th and 3 or shorter this year. Mm-hmm. So just taking
they were at like a
70-some
percent clip. Yeah.
Right. They were basically equal to what Badgley is from that spot. Mm-hmm. So it's not fair to take a 4th and 11 in Baltimore and put it into the 4th down tally because all 4th downs are not created equal.
Yeah. And
just once Chad got on a roll, I just opted out.
Well, for the record, I think they went for it both Vikings games and won the Bears, the
Saints.
Who they are. Yeah, the Chargers. Did they go?
My whole thing with Dan Campbell has always been split the difference. Split the difference. You can't be all aggression all the time. I think you do. Look, although the presentation by Chad was a little much, I don't disagree with the message in that you have to read the room. This is the NFC title game. Mm-hmm. This isn't just a Week 8 game in October.
Right. Kick the field goal. It's not raining. There's no wind. It's perfect weather. Go out there, kick the field goal.